for still?
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. And we'll do a quick recap. This won't be, well, I always say stuff like this. It's not going to be a half hour, but it may very well be, of Leicester 1, Aston Villa 2, a game whereby, it was a bitty game. It was a stop-start game. It wasn't one for the annals of history anyway, put it that way. But Villa got the job done. 2 goals, one from John Duran and one for Amadou Onana. And I think the bigger talking point about this is potential injuries that have come out of this game. But Paddy, first of all, did I sum it up correctly by saying it was a stop-start, bitty, poor game of football today?
Was a poor game. Absolutely a poor game. Not helped by an absolute clown with a whistle, mind you. Not helped that we picked up an injury again within 15 minutes. But having said that, I thought McGinn did okay in that position. Obviously not the same threat as a Leon Bailey. But by God, my overriding emotion is Hugh here today, because that referee was capable of anything, and he was given a fucking penalty at the end. My God, what on earth? Like, I just don't understand. If me or you go into work and make errors like this clown is doing, we get sacked, we get stood down, you don't get your bonus, all these kind of things. Yet these fellas are untouchable. Like, how many times did he get in the way of the play? And then give it back to the wrong team.
Ball hit off him twice. Yeah, ball hit off him twice. My biggest gripe
times he gave it back to the wrong team.
Yeah, my gripe, I suppose, with him today was like the inconsistency, yellow cards, the inconsistency of tackles from behind and stuff like that. But look, I'm at the stage now whereby, we can call it out every week, but nothing's going to be done with it. So I'm kind of like, fuck him. Like, David Coote loses. He loses. He loses every single game he plays. He loses control of it at some stage, and then he feels he's overcompensated at some stage. Like,
he has no business in anywhere near a Premier League game. He is the guy on your school sports day that doesn't like doing a bit of sport, so the teachers take pity on him and give him a whistle and go, there you go now, son, you referee the match. And he just gives, like, Vardy 2 cynical fouls early on, no card. Indeed, 2 cynical fouls, no card. The first foul we make, card. He just doesn't know what he's doing.
The inconsistency of cards. That's across the board. Yeah,
there are more pressing matters than the referee.
I think so.
We got 2 good goals. Obviously, we conceded a poor one. Bogarde, while he was fairly anonymous for most of the game, was poor for the
solid
goal.
For most of it. I'll be honest with you. I didn't have any concerns with him.
Yeah, the only time he gave the ball away was in the opposition or the final third. So, like, I'm absolutely fine with that. But you need to be switched on. You can't be just leaving a leg in there like that, which ultimately led to the goal. You got to be more solid. He will learn from it. Absolutely, he'll learn from it. Picked up another stupid yellow. I didn't think much of it at the time, but obviously Mr. Coote likes giving out yellow cards. But like, there was that many yellow cards that, you're nearly on the verge of the FA warning you about controlling your players. That's how many yellow cards he gave out today in what wasn't a dirty game. So
four cards for each team. Yeah.
There's only 4.
4 for Villa, 4 for Leicester. Yeah.
It felt like more than that. It really felt like more than that.
And one for Steve Cooper, actually. So there was 5 for Leicester.
Yeah.
But
and Steve Cooper was right, because the throw in should have been for Leicester.
No, did Cooper not get the yellow over the Vardy call?
No, he got the yellow over the Tielemans clearing the ball out and them looking for a penalty. But you got to ask yourself, what's the linesman looking at there? The linesman's 10 yards away from it and doesn't see that.
Coote didn't give the penalty. Coote said play on.
No. I mean the throw in. Oh,
sorry.
Okay.
Pushes
the ball out of play, and then they get to throw in the Villa. Like I'm saying he's shit for both teams. I'm not just saying he's shit.
Yeah.
But like these games, we've waited all summer for Villa to come back, and this is our release. And these absolute morons are ruining our release. Just play the fucking game. Not every free kick is a fucking yellow card. You made the game on a knife edge by giving out yellow cards stupidly. So there's I have no sympathy for him. He should get all of the critic that he deserves, because we've seen him so many times, and he's poor referee, and he causes left, right, and centre.
It's funny. It's funny. I'm just looking at the comments. Oh yeah, actually, I see someone popped in the comments there. I didn't scroll down far enough to see that Duran got booked in injury time as well. So we had 5 yellow cards.
That one was deserved. That one was deserved.
Yeah,
in fairness.
That one was deserved. Exactly. Yeah. That one was
Right.
was
Let's
deserved.
talk about the football.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So like, it's funny. I'm looking at the comments as they're going past here, and some people were like, no, Bogarde isn't up to it, and some people are like, Bogarde is okay, and I genuinely I got what I expected from a 20-year-old today. I got what I expected from a 20-year-old making his debut today. Some of the passes in field were directly to Leicester players. Absolutely. I don't think he was skinned at any stage. The only he was naive in 2 instances. Where was it for the goal? He tried to step in, and then obviously for Christensen's one there where he got the yellow card. But like, we have to remember, this guy's a converted defensive midfielder moving into the right back role, his first time ever at right back. So, and like, I'm not just trying to protect the young fella here, but what I'm saying is I would actually hold, even though Nedeljkovic is an 18-year-old, there's a part of me that would probably hold him to a higher standard, having played at right back for a longer period of time than Bogarde is. Now, the question mark should probably be there. If people can want to ask the question, I'll completely have the conversation with them about should Nedeljkovic have started over Bogarde. I think it's a fair question to ask. And I would agree with that too, Michael. I'd agree that Bogarde. I thought it was fine. First half, he was like, he didn't register at all, which is what you want, you know. But I think Nedeljkovic obviously
for those that are listening and not watching, the comment says Bogarde was fine until about 10-15 minutes before he came off and he looked shattered.
Yeah.
The pace of the Premier League is something you have to adjust yourself to. We spoke about it before the game. He's now got about 80 minutes under his belt. Did fairly well up until those last 10-15 minutes where he started to look shaky, and that was largely down to the substitution that was made, because it was the first time in the game that he'd been run at.
And like, you know, I'm not going to bring up the comments because I'm not going to call out any. I don't want to look like I'm calling out anyone. But a couple of people have already decided after 80 minutes of football, Bogarde can't pass. That's wrong. You can't make that decision after 80 minutes. Well, you can if you want, but I'm not going to agree with you after 80 minutes. I think that's probably the easiest way to put it down. The guy's made his debut in the Premier League. We only found out he was going to be even tried at right back yesterday, you know, and this is all new to him. The conversation should be around who should have started, Nedeljkovic or Bogarde, not that Bogarde can't play right back. That's the way I'm going to be. For if you guys can have whatever conversations you want. I'm not here to tell anyone how to fan, as I say, but I think that like that it's not fair to for me. I would stand up and I would say to anyone, okay, you can have your decision. You can have your opinion on it. I think you're completely unfair writing off Bogarde as a right back after that. As I say, if anybody's like that on Twitter, I've seen it on Twitter as well and all that kind of stuff. But I think overall, look, Paddy, there was the game was stop start. I saw you put up a comment about like Ollie Watkins went through on goal. I thought the goalkeeper made one good save, and I thought that the one where Watkins was injured in the goal. Look, the goalkeeper gets to the ball first, but like they're ones that are, I suppose, that are always going to get looked at. John McGinn, I thought we saw a small bit more of him. I thought he was more effervescent in the game today, but again, there was no real cutting edge. But then again, no one had cutting edge. Morgan Rogers didn't have cutting edge today. Tielemans was good, and the goal we scored, I thought the first goal we scored, I thought was really good. That free kick was superb. I thought it was superb.
Yeah, great. Well, probably not the touch that Ramsey had hoped he'd make, but it turned out into a good touch. I think he was looking to get on it and take a shot, but it ended up in a ball across the box. And Onana, who I thought was excellent as well today, until he picked up that injury. hopefully it's not too bad, because that's a worry now that, you know, we lost Jaden Philogene Badace before the game, and then we've got obviously an injury to Leon Bailey. Luckily, we've got 2 weeks. Hopefully, these aren't serious injuries. It is a worry. That's a position now where we've lost 2 players in the space of 2 days. So I'm genuinely worried about that position. If this is anyway long term, it did say a small injury for Philogene, didn't he?
Yeah. Small knock or something. I can't remember.
Yeah. Then Onana went off, and I know you called him out as not having a great game last week, but I thought Barkley did quite well when he came on.
Barkley was brilliant.
I spent a lot of time looking at him off the ball, and his movement and his work rate couldn't be faulted at all. You know, there's a few. I don't think there's many finger pointing we can do today, because it was just one of those games where they made it very hard for us to break them down. Then we did break them down. Watkins had a couple of chances, as you said. I think you were going to allude to what I said about the one where the goalkeeper.
Did the goalkeeper mean to get the challenge in there? Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just drawing attention to the fact that the goalkeeper kicks the ball, follows through Ollie Watkins and hits him. So that's exactly what happened in the West Ham game at the first game of the season, albeit a little bit closer to the player. So what's the difference? What are we doing here? Is touching the ball enough, or are you going to cream a fella and get away with it now? Because that's they have set the precedent by making those sounds that he kicked the ball, but it wasn't his intention to kick the ball. Like, that's just flabbergasting. Still 2 weeks later, I'm still flabbergasted by it. But anyway, move on.
Yeah, like I thought it was I'm not going to say it was a brave substitution, because I don't think there are such things as brave substitutions in instances like that game today. But to take Ramsey off and bring Maatsen on, obviously Ramsey was disappointed to come back off only after coming on in the 13th minute. Yeah, there's Jimmy. I didn't even see that, but I thought, you know, it was interesting to see Maatsen come on and play on that left hand side. As we've seen him do, we've seen Unai do with Moreno previously. You know, he's rapid fast, Maatsen. He's rapid fast, and it did allow us to kind of solidify that side. Obviously, having John McGinn move over onto the right hand side would have been better for Bogarde and better for Nedeljkovic at that time. So I can see the method behind the madness behind that, and I actually think that probably he wanted to solidify that side more. And if Villa were 3-0 up or still 2-0 up at that time, I think probably Morgan Rogers might have come off, and I think that maybe Buendia might have come on. Now, Rogers wasn't poor or anything like that. It just wasn't the day for him. Now, he cut one great passage of play where he won the ball back and played it into infield again, right on the edge of their area. So, like, he didn't play poorly, don't get me wrong, but the space wasn't there for him. They marshaled space really well. They got bogged down in midfield quite a lot. Like I said in the post match, that I hope didn't happen, or the pre match, I say I hope didn't happen, but it did. And Rodgers was, like, as I said, he wasn't able to break free an awful lot from that. But yeah, so like a win, 3 points away against any team in the Premier League is a huge plus point. Like, don't get us wrong, when we're talking about this, it's directly after the game. We're still up, we're still down, we're still trying to assimilate our thoughts and stuff like that. But the overarching feeling really here is, as Paddy said, like, he went, phew, like, we got away or we come away from there with 3 points. Not that we got away with it, we come away from there with 3 points. I think that's a massive plus point. Like, Villa have done this, Paddy. Villa have done this since Unai Emery has come in. They've gone 2-0 up, it's gone to 2-1, and they've come away with the win. They've been professional in that way more often than not. We don't drop points from winning positions.
Well, I think it's time that we're gonna need to be killing off games like this, or at least shutting up shop a little bit better if that's the intention. Because how many times has that happened where you're 2-0 up and coasting, and all of a sudden the shits are put up you by a late goal or a fluky goal or whatever way it comes about. They never looked like scoring until that went in. I thought they did a couple of half chances, but like Vardy never got anything, or you never got anything. There was nothing to worry us as such until that goal. the possession stats probably tell a different tale. I would have said we bossed the game in the majority of parts. They had the ball more. They obviously had statistically more possession of the ball. We had the more shots on targets. Everything else was better. And look, we will look back on the season and we'll probably forget about this game. It's just one of those games where you go, oh yeah, I remember beating Leicester, all right, but you'll remember very little about it. My main worry now is, and as you put on the screen before the match, so I didn't want any injuries. We now potentially have an extra 2 in Onana and Bailey after today. So to be honest, Onana's looked like a roll of the ankle from when he landed. So he's not going on international duty. And we've got 2 weeks with Bailey now to get on the treatment table and get that hamstring sorted. But yeah, it's just worrying. The transfer window closes last night and we get 2 injuries, typical. But hopefully nothing serious. And the most important thing is that we get those players back on the pitch as soon as possible, because a huge few weeks ahead. Very winnable games in September, plus obviously the start of the Champions League, and especially for the likes of Leon Bailey having fired us into this position, I would hate for him to miss out on any part of it, because he deserves to be there. And what a turnaround that is from me talking about him 18 months ago.
Exactly, for sure. Couple of people saying in the comments that Onana is fine. Obviously, we don't have any of the post-match stuff, any of the interviews, any of the commentary and the punditry and stuff like that afterwards. So if there is anything mentioned about Onana or about Bailey from Unai Emery, please let us know in the comments as well. We do rely on you for that. But hopefully it is the case that he's fine, because I thought he was really good today. I thought he got around the field today. I thought there was one instance where can't remember who it was, but it might have been Skip, barely brushed off him, and he went down, and you could see he was after running. He was after kind of coming out of his defensive shape, Onana, and he had been around the field. He'd been going almost around in a circle, following the ball for a while, which was good. You know, he was putting pressure on, but then he broke out of it and went a bit further forward, and Skip kind of brushed off him, and he dropped it. I was like, there's the fall of a man who's absolutely ran himself into the ground for about 3 or 4 minutes. But no, I thought he was really good, and I said fair play to him, and Tielemans as well. They're forming a superb partnership inside there for sure.
There's a lot of comments there about Ramsey's reaction. I genuinely thought he was wrecked. He made one run just before he came off, and he struggled to recover. It was time for him to come off. I know there's a bit of a stigma about being brought on and brought off.
Yeah.
But I think when you pay 60, 70 minutes, I don't think you've got any arguments about it.
Yeah.
I think he was genuinely just pissed off that he was coming off. But I think for him, that's a great amount of minutes under the belt as well, which he needed, especially heading into the international break and the big few weeks that we have ahead.
Absolutely. On the Leicester side of things, I thought that centre half, the Italian centre half, Caleb Okoli, he was really involved. He was everywhere. He got taken off for a finish. He was in a yellow card. I don't think he grayed out well on anything like who'd scored or anything like that. Just one of those performances, because usually defenders and teams that lose don't. And plus, John Duran did the whole belly bump on him and moved backwards for his header and stuck it in the back of the net. But I thought he was good. That goalkeeper, I did a lot of Leicester previews this week. And every one of them off camera, every single one of them to a man said, we've a really good young goalkeeper here. He's really, really good. And bar the one where he miscontrolled it, like in one-on-ones, I thought he was good. He will grade out well, I bet you, on any of those sites like FootMob and any of those as well. I can imagine, Paddy, that you're not going to have been too fond of Fat Wu and some of the acrobatic stuff that he did when he was when he went down for free kicks, but he's a promising player for sure. And
he wasn't the only one either. I think when you've got players like Jamie Vardy, the way he went down for that final challenge, look, we've seen referees fall for this kind of shit, and then fucking idiots that are told not to overturn the referee's decisions. That could have been a completely different game there at the end if he wasn't offside. So thankfully the linesman knew straight away he was offside and got the flag up, because he was given that penalty at the end, which would have been an absolute disaster, because they're told to what's the referee's call? referee's call was completely wrong. There was very little in it.
Yeah, and as Jasper put up there, Onana just posted on Instagram saying, "See you in 2 weeks at Villa Park," so he must be fine, as well. There's one other little piece I wanted to talk about as well. One other move in the game I wanted to talk about. I can't remember it. I think really, look, this one is it's in the books. I think that there's an awful lot of there's probably a lot that Unai will be able to decipher from this. Like, there's a lot that a management team should be able to take out of this and work on from a structural point of view. You know, once again, we did play against a team who bogged it down in the middle of the field. And we broke through them. There was a couple of times we did pass through them, like Tielemans' pass, the free kick. We were inventive, I think, at times, but it was not the best game in the world to watch, but we came out of it with the right result. John Duran keeps on scoring, and Amadou Onana is looking every bit of £50 million player, so hopefully that stays the same way for the rest of the year. As Onana said as well, 2 weeks' time, back in Villa Park. Unfortunately, we've got an international break now, but we will be back with more and more, a couple more podcasts over the next few weeks. Do you have anything else to go with, Paddy? I know I said this was going to be a shorter one. I kind of have to run, but
no, I've nothing to add. Look, we're 3 games in. We're 6 points to the better, which we would have taken, I'm sure, looking at the 3 fixtures. 2 away wins and a defeat to Arsenal. This is a decent start to the season. Plenty to be positive about. It's just a shame that this shit show of international football is just in the middle of it now. But having said that, 2 weeks rest for Leon Bailey, 2 weeks rest for Matty Cash, 2 weeks rest for Onana, and back at it and ready to go for it's Everton next, isn't it?
Everton next, yeah.
Who threw away a 2-goal lead today?
That's what I was going to say. Because I think Gaz Oak said Everton aren't missing him, and I think that's in jest. I think that's in tongue-in-cheek, Gaz, because Everton is still yet to pick up a point this season. If I'm not mistaken, or maybe they have 1 point already, but 2-0 up and last 3-2 today. Yeah,
I know our friend Spud made a big call during the week. He reckons John Dyche will be sacked and David Moyes will be back into Everton. So we could be looking at a complete change by the time this fixture rocks around. So let's see if that comes to fruition.
Let's see if that comes to fruition. All right, yeah. Right, I think we're going to have to leave it at that. Shorter one today. Sorry to everybody who's just after jumping on, because I just saw we went from like 700 viewers up to like 900 straight away. There, look,
sorry. Keep the faith. This it has to be a positive. Winning is a positive, no matter how they come. Worried about the injuries. But we have to, when we win, we need to call out these refereeing decisions more than ever, because we're just told we're bitter when we lose. So to be able to call out the West Ham one and call out the ones today, this guy has no business in Premier League football. He is absolutely useless, and he looks like he's caught like a rabbit in the headlights every time he steps on that pitch. And it's always a show when the camera spends more time on the referee than the players. It means the referee is doing something wrong. I always said it since I was a kid looking at football. Why is the camera always on the referee? That means he's having a shit game. He had a shit game today. We didn't play to the best of our ability. We're 2 wins from 3. We're up near the top end of the table. Enjoy the international break. I won't, because we're fucking playing England, and I'm not thanked. But I'll be there anyway next Saturday. And up to Villa.
Up to Villa is right. See you later, everyone. Thanks very much. Enjoy the international break. We will be back with more. Villa are 3 points to the good, 6 points from 3 games, and that's an absolute brilliant start to the season. Have a great rest of your weekend now, and we'll see you on the other side. Up to Villa.